Welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to show you a rather passive way to play Moira in Stadium. This build is based around max orb and biotic energy usage to increase uptime on yourself and your teammates. I'll include some caveats, like when this wouldn't work, what items may need flexing, and so forth. Here is the build code right here on the screen. Now let's dive in. The bread and butter of this build is focused primarily on these two powers: Precarious Potency and Optimal Overflow. Precarious Potency is going to heal for an additional 25% of Biotic Grasp healing over 5 seconds. This will be your first power you choose, and your second power in round 2 will be Optimal Overflow. After you spend 50 Biotic Energy, launch the last selected Biotic Orb with 75% reduced duration. Now, the idea of this build is to primarily shoot out heal orbs. So that way, when you're cranking out these orbs, you're going to be doing up to 5 orbs, including the one that you can throw out. A couple of the key items that you're going to want to have: high capacity tubing. This just increases your biotic energy by 50, as well as alternative energy. This increases your attack speed and your ability power, both which will help your orbs with their healing, as well as your healing grasp. When you use Fade, you refill your biotic energy, which is going to help with the overall uptime of keeping your heals up. So with these two powers, these two items alone, this is what your healing output will look like. First, we're going to shoot our healing orb, continuously heal the bot. 1 orb, 2 orb, 3 orb. We get our charge back, and we're already healing and tossing out more orbs. And in between that, we get another orb back. And we can just heal for basically forever, which is kind of an interesting way to play Moira. I know a lot of people prefer to go the aggressive route, but this is for if you want to play kind of nonchalant. Some of the other items that I find to be useful and relative to this build would particularly be Amari's Antidote, which increases the efficiency of our Biotic Grasp healing. While healing an ally below 50% life with your weapon, deal 15% increased weapon healing. So that's going to be awesome for us. And the Booster Jets, which is a 20% attack speed, which also affects the rate in which our Biotic Grasp comes out to heal. To show the difference that these two items make, I will do the exact same combo that I did previously with the 2-item build. Orb, heal, orb, 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 release an orb, fade, and we got our heals back. Look how much sustain you can get from having 4 items and 2 abilities. It's not a build that I normally play, but it is intriguing to see the efficiency of your healing compared to that of a normal hybrid type Moira player. The last half of the build is very much so situational. I think Void Hoppers is almost a must every time in most Moira builds. This just adds another layer of sustain to your team, and it's very great in those situations where there's a lot of CC happening and you want to get everyone covered and back up and in the fight right away. Personally, I like Chain Grasp. The Chain Grasp with the recent buff making it 4 seconds after releasing one of your orbs is so powerful and makes Moira such a demon to deal with that it's really hard to not take Chain Grasp over any of the other abilities. However, if someone were to want to completely go the orb healing type route, you could go multi-ball. I think in this sense, going multi-ball would warrant you to choose Smart Orbs as one of the abilities. Smart Orbs allows your orbs to move 50% slower while they're healing or doing damage near their targets. I think having all 3 orbs would be kind of, it's almost a little overkill, but if you're receiving a lot of damage, I can totally see the argument for wanting to get that. And personally, one of the last items that I think I would choose Vanadium Injection. This is an ability that you use when you plan not on using your ultimate charge. And because of all of the healing that you're going to be doing and generating, you should be getting your ultimate charge rather quickly, within the first fight at least, is my guess. This is going to give you that extra weapon power, weapon speed, ability power, and that cooldown reduction, so you can pump out even more orbs. We're going to check out what this looks like with our full build with multi-ball and smart orbs, just as a reference point. You can see, like, there's literally no end to the amount of sustain that you can do for you and your team. You always have orb, you always have biotic energy, and you always have fade. While making this video, I came up with the idea of, what if you wanted to take this a little more aggressively, want to take this the same build but just tweak it a little bit to have a little more aggression. So I took out Amari's Antidote and I subbed it with Cyber Venom, and now Cyber Venom is going to give you an additional cooldown reduction and additional ability power, but Cyber Venom has the ability to apply 30% healing reduction for 3 seconds when you deal ability damage. Cyber Venom is by far one of my favorite items to pick. And so I wanted to show what having Cyber Venom in this build could look like while healing your team. So we have our bots here, and we're going to first throw out our Cyber Venom orbs, and we're going to get behind our guys. We have Cyber Venom orbs again, and we're going to sustain them. Ran out of heals, but now we're back. Another Cyber Venom orb here. I think this makes this build rather interesting because you have the ability to not only do damage to the enemies, but also continuously heal your team. It kind of does force you to play behind your team in a very, like, regular support type fashion, right? It's kind of cool. I can't lie. I kind of surprised myself with this bit, and may actually give it a try. Now, if you queue up into a game and you see that your enemy supports are Brigitte and Wu Yang, I would suggest go any other Moira build. So if you have to play against Brigitte and Wu Yang, they have some of the highest sustains in Stadium right now. Brig's pack build is rather broken, and Wu Yang's streamlined build is also disgusting. So at this point, I think if you're going up against a Brig and a Wu Yang, personally, I'd go for one of my favorite builds is the Arc's cooldown reduction debuff build, and you can find that in Arc's video. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video and the YouTube content. Good luck out there, grinding for Legend and Top 500. And if you see Fecal Fiend out on the battlefield, no, you didn't.